Howdy. With video number 9, I want to kind of talk about this career project we're about to get into. I'm doing this video on Thursday, September 27th. Um, Prior to the class meeting on October 1st, the upcoming Monday, you should be turning in essay number 1. And hopefully you're kind of seeing how the basic process works. We do some pre-writing with something like the reflection or some exercises. You actually have to write the essay at some point. Then we're going to do peer reviews and revise them. You're going to edit and submit them. And eventually, once you get the graded essay back, you're going to revise them one more time and then post them on your LinkedIn page so that anybody who wants to could actually see one of your essays. But hopefully by that time, it's a very refined essay and something you don't mind posting. Hopefully kind of proud of it. Um, but in class on the 1st, we're going to begin the career project. I'm going to send you an email trying to get you to go ahead and start your LinkedIn site before you get into class. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes if the internet's a little spotty, LinkedIn can be a bear to work with. Like here at Dobbins Bennett, where I'm at, they block LinkedIn, which creates a fun time for some of my students here. But you can see on the 8th, we're going to work on the resume, scholarship letter. You're going to write towards a specific scholarship you might apply for. We're also going to start reflection number 2, which is going to be your academic plan. You're going to list all the classes you're going to take for your 2-year or 4-year degree from a specific college. So all kinds of fun stuff going on. Hopefully by the 15th, your LinkedIn page is done. You're ready to start writing on the essay. One hard part about the essay is the academic plan, which hopefully you'll have done as well on the 15th. And we'll be ready to kind of get going with MLA formatting and essay number 2. One nice thing is on the 8th, I'm out from my classes at David Crockett. They're on fall break, so I'll be in class with you all that day. And hopefully we can kind of get going on the academic plan and maybe even MLA formatting a little bit. Excuse me. Sorry, gross old man sound there. But hopefully I can be there and help us get going on some of the more complicated stuff. But you can see after that we're going to be working on essay 2, getting that in by the November 5th, and then starting the essay number 3. To take a look at essay 2, and actually again it's more of a project. The first part's the LinkedIn page. And on this LinkedIn page, basically LinkedIn is kind of Facebook for people looking for jobs. In your case, you're looking for scholarships and trying to look to see what you can do to make yourself marketable in either 2 years or 2-3 years or 4 or 5 years. When you get your college degree and start looking for a job in whatever field you choose. But on your LinkedIn page, you're going to have an image of yourself, or if you're not comfortable with an image of yourself, an image representing your future profession. If you're going to be a veterinarian, it'd be nice to have a picture with you with some animals that aren't trying to get away from you. And if you don't put an image of yourself, then image of some animals that might need some care or something. Nothing too sad. People want to look at this. You're going to have a background summary of yourself. You're going to have a scholarship application letter. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit more on Monday. And a resume. Here's an example of a LinkedIn page. This is mine, obviously. But you can see I have a kind of professional image of myself. I'm an English teacher, so I'm taking a picture with me with some books in my office. So I look at the picture, it's like, I'm a little grayer and balder than that picture shows, but I might need to update that at some point. I have a little introduction paragraph here, telling everybody about myself. Got some images, different things that kind of show I do more than just sit around grading papers all day or worrying about comma splices or whatever. If you scroll on down, eventually you'll see my resume and my education. Again, if some of you are 15, 16, 17 years old, you're not going to be able to highlight 20 years of experience in some industry. So like your resume is going to focus more on your abilities. Do people trust you with money? Do people trust you with children? I think at least one of you is a lifeguard. I mean, people trust you to care about their children if should they start drowning, right? That's kind of important, kind of a good thing about you. I'll list some career highlights and stuff like that. The only thing I don't have that you'll have is a scholarship letter. I'm not applying for scholarships, so there's no reason for me to have that. But that is something you should be looking towards, especially if you're going to school, college next year. But that's what LinkedIn looks like. You just go to linkedin.com. You'll have to create an account and then answer about 500,000 questions to create your profile. But once it's done, it's kind of nice. It's kind of a nice place to keep all your professional or your student stuff where other people can see it. And hopefully you'll start connecting with people. Um, with the essay itself, you're going to research the one kind of the career you think about going into, but a main focus on this is going to be your education to get to that career. As you look at the essay, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. We got a couple weeks before we're actually going to start writing on it, but you want to start thinking about it a little bit. It's going to have some major sections here. And you kind of see we're going to be getting into MLA formatting and doing the research, how to use sources in your essay, make sure you're not plagiarizing, things like that. But again, we want to kind of start off with the resume, the scholarship letter, and then move into the longer essay here. You can see the word count's getting a little longer with 1,200 words. Generally, word count's not a problem with this essay once you get into it. But you want to kind of pick a profession. If you're not sure what you want to do with the rest of your life, that's kind of normal for teenagers. But you want to pick one and research it and see how well you match up to that career. If you say you want to be in nursing and as you research a career, you realize, well, man, all these sick people are going to be asking me for stuff. That sounds annoying to me. Maybe you should start thinking about something else. But you want to pick something you want to research, you're thinking about doing. The first part of the essay, you're just going to talk about a general description of that specific field. Keep in mind as you're thinking about it, don't just say I want to be a nurse. Do you want to be a neonatal nurse, an emergency room nurse, flight nurse? My daughter Haley says she's thinking about being a contract nurse. Try to get it as specific as you can there. And that'll help keep the essay good and focused. Section 2 is going to be a big part of it for you all. You're going to talk about the detailed requirements for the job. Oops. Oh, now I screwed up my highlighting there. There we go. What kind of, do you have to go to a specific college to get your specific degree? Not every college offers every degree there. You have to have certifications after you get your degree. If you're going to be a nurse, you still have some testing to do, right? You can get your nursing degree, fail the licensing test, and you're not a nurse. You got a problem. You're a very educated non-nurse person, right? Are there certain physical requirements? If you're a nurse, you're going to have to lift people. Somebody falls on the ground, you're going to have to pick them up, right? You got to be on your feet a lot. You got to be physically strong to be a nurse, right? What kind of personality traits? If you want to be an accountant and you don't really care if the numbers add up, you got a problem there, right? But that's the kind of things you're looking at. And also you're going to include a table with all your courses that you need for your particular college degree. If you're going to get a 2-year degree, you're just going to go to the 2-year level. If you're going to get a 4-year degree, you want that. If you're going to go on to graduate school, you don't need to list all those classes, but you will talk about it in your essay about what it takes to get to that level. One thing you're going to see as you do this, some career fields require an awful lot of education. For example, pharmacy is going to require about 7-8 years of college, which one, it's a lot of classes, and 2, it's a lot of money. So one thing you're going to be thinking about as you write your essay. Third section is going to talk about your career path in terms of salary, job mobility. If you get a degree in nursing, you do it for 2-3 years, and you're like, man, I don't like this. What is it? Well, you spend a lot of money and time on your education. There's something else you can do with that degree. And of course there is. You can maybe go into teaching. You might want to be a school nurse. You might go into administration. There's other things you can probably do with a nursing degree. If you get a degree in history and you don't want to teach, you might be a little limited in what you can do, right? And of course you want some upward mobility. Can you make more money eventually if you stay in the profession? Teaching generally doesn't start out with a particularly good salary, but if you hang with it and you stick with it a little bit, you might have a pretty decent salary after a few years, right? Section 4 is going to talk about your suitability for the job. List 3 good things, 3 bad things about the job. Hopefully you talk to somebody who's in the job or has done the job. See where the stress comes in. If you're going to be a neonatal nurse, sometimes the babies don't make it, right? That's incredibly stressful to watch a child die like that. Are you going to be able to handle that? After about 5 years, over half the people who go into teaching are no longer in teaching. There's a high turnover rate. You might look to see what's causing that, what kind of stressors are forcing people out of the teaching profession. So all kinds of interesting things to get into. Hopefully a lot of good things as well. And of course, a very important part of this, how can you make yourself marketable? When you graduate with your nursing degree in 5 years or whenever, so are thousands of other people. What's going to set you apart from the field to make an employer want you as opposed to somebody else? Can you join professional organizations? Can you do volunteer work? Can you do internships? What can you do to make your resume, which right now is going to be pretty thin just because of your age, will make your resume look really nice to somebody once you get your college degree. Those are the 4 major sections. Again, hopefully it's something you're kind of interested in, or you have probably a lot of people asking you, what are you going to go to college? What are you going to do when you get there? What's your major going to be? Almost to the point of them, being a little annoying. Hopefully after you're done with this, you say, go to my LinkedIn page, read my essay, and you'll have your answer, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at with the next assignments. And again, we're doing this in stages. We're not going to try and do all this in 1 week, obviously. It's going to take a little bit of work. And that's kind of how the essays are going to start moving. It's not just going to be something you can do in 1 day or something like that. It's going to take work to get a resume, a scholarship letter, the academic plan, the essay, and everything else that you're going to be putting together here. But hopefully that kind of gives you an overview of what we're looking at over the next month or so. I'm going to get off here, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.